Good morning, everyone. So, today we are going to start with the next topic of chapter number 5, organizing. And the name of the topic is types of organizations. So, there are two types of organization, that is the formal organization and informal organization. So, today we are going to learn about both formal as well as informal type of organization. Before beginning with the topic, the meaning of the word formal means officially recognized, or we can say done in accordance with the etiquettes of the organization, whereas the word informal means unofficial style or having a relaxed friendly environment. So we know that the success of an organization depends upon both the formal and informal setup. So let's start with the formal organization. Now, formal organization means the relationship that is definite and defined beforehand, right? So, here all the relationship, the subordinate and superior relationship, everyone is clear about, each and every employee is clear about every job, every task they have to perform. So, this type of organization is designed by the top level management. We can call it as deliberately created for achieving organizational objectives. So, it is a system of well defined jobs where each and every job is defined and everyone knows about the extent of authority they have, the responsibility and accountability, right? So, let us start. So, first is we have formal organization. It means an organization in which responsibilities, authority and mutual relationships among all the employees working in an enterprise are clearly defined. So, this type of organization is deliberately created, right, and it is created by the top level management. So, here all the responsibilities are defined beforehand, all the authorities and all the mutual relationship of a subordinate or a superior, everything is predetermined or predefined, right. So, here next is we have features of formal organization. Now, first is it has defined interrelationship. Now, we know that in formal organization it is a type, or we can say it is a sort of arrangement which clearly defines the mutual relationship. That means it defines what is the authority a person has and what is the responsibility towards that person, right? And everyone knows in the organization who is to report to whom, who is the superior, who is the subordinate. Second is we have it is based on rules and procedures. That means all the predetermined rules and procedures are observed. All the employees in the organization has to work according to the rules and regulations. Next is it is based on division of work. Now, division of work is the chief basis of formal organization. That means it connects all the efforts of different departments with each other. That means it establishes a specialization as well as coordination in the organization. Next is it is deliberately created. Deliberately means intentionally or consciously. We can say janbujh ke created, right? So, why it is created? In order to achieve the objective of the organization. Next is it is impersonal. Now, personal feelings are ignored, right? We cannot directly go and get into contact with or get into touch with the top level management or the our super seniors like that. So, to whom we are accountable, to whom we are responsible, to what authority we have, according to that authority we can contact. So, if we are just allowed to contact with the superior, we will be contacting with the superior, no one else other than the superior. Next is it is more stable. So, it is more stable means need, here the individual needs are kept aside. What is the main focus? The main focus is to achieve the objective of the organization. That is why we know that all the responsibilities, authority and all the accountability is fixed. That is why no one is asked or no one has any confusion. So, this type of organization is more stable. Next is we have the advantages of formal organization. First is easy to fixed accountability. Accountability means answerability. So since every employee knows the authority and responsibility they have, accordingly inefficient employees can easily be understood. That means the employees who are unable to achieve the productivity or they are wasting the resources, they can be easily understood that these are the employees, and according to that we can fix their answerability, right. Next is no overlapping of work, as we have already discussed in the previous video about the process of organizing. So in the process of organizing, what we have is we have 4 steps. So first is identification and division of work. So when the work is identified, the activities are identified, according to the activities the work is divided, then automatically what will happen, there is no overlapping of the work. So everything goes in a order. Next is unity of command possible. So unity of command means one subordinate will be answerable to only one superior or his superior. So that is why scalar chain of authority is applicable, right. So we can observe the principle of command in formal organization as well as the scalar chain of authority is followed. Easy to get goals, as we know that everyone in the organization knows about their authority, responsibility. So optimum use of resources will be made, and when best use of resources and human resources are made, then automatically it helps in achieving the goals of the organization. Stability in the organization. Stability in the organization means when all the rules and all the remaining work is confined to the people, so they know that this is the authority what they have, and within that authority they are allowed to do that work. So this leads to the establishment of good relationship, which in turn leads to stability to the organization. Now coming to the limitations of formal organization. First is delay in work. So when we know that we are just we can just ask or we can just give the queries to our superior, so there is a long chain of authority we have to follow, right. If we have to take some decision, we are unable to take that decision, or if we have to do some work, we cannot do some work because we have to ask from a superior, right. So whenever this type of things happen in the formal organization, automatically the completion of the work gets delayed. Next is lack of initiative. Now when everyone knows that what work they have to do, what they are asked to do, and they do not have a chance of some independent thinking, they don't think, they are just ordered that this is the work that you need to do, and when they do that work, no initiative is taken to reduce the timing of the work or to increase the efficiency. So that means it kills initiative of the employees. The employees do not take any initiative in reducing the work of the organization. Next is mechanization of relationships. Now the relationship of the people are defined. We know that who is the superior, who is the subordinate. So no mutual interplay, that means no mutual relationships can be established. There is no chance of establishing any mutual relationship, and automatically what can happen is the knowledge of the other people remains unexploited, and their experience also cannot be exploited. That means we cannot share the experience, we cannot share the knowledge with other people. Each and everything is confined to only particular task, and that task is the accomplishment of the organizational goals. Next is we have the informal organization. Now informal organization means that organization which is not established deliberately and which comes out due to or because of some common interest, taste and religious and common communal relations. For example, now if you are school friends, right, and why are you friends? Because you want to study together. It can be the friends, a group of friends who want to play a particular game, it can be a group of friends who want just to talk. So this is what this is, a common interest. There is a common interest among a particular group, and your taste, your preferences might be same. That is why you are establishing a informal relationship. Now, informal organization, it refers to the natural grouping of people in work situation to meet personal needs. Now everyone, we know that everyone wants to be social, they want to meet new friends, they want to explore their society. So what that or how it is possible, it is only possible through informal organization, right? So for example, they have given you an example. Now in a formal organization, a superior in a purchase department consults only the manager of his department regarding all his problems connected with his activities. But an informal organization, any manager of any department or superior can consult any one, right? Or any superior can be consulted. A superior can talk directly to the general manager as well in informal organization. Now coming to the features of informal organization. First is, it is based on formal organization. First of all, formal organization is established, then it is the result of formal organization that informal organization is created out of it. So when relationships are established, superior subordinate relationships are established automatically, or we can't say it is deliberately created, it is created out of some certain common interest or taste. Directly informal organization is created. It has no written rules and procedures, as in case of formal organization we have rules and regulations and all the employees have to work according to the rules and regulations. But in case of informal organization, there are group norms which have to be observed, right? So for example, employees working in an organization and they belong to a particular community, they form a separate group. Like if you are there in a class of 36 students, then out of that there might be 5 or 6 students who might have one group, there might be 7 to 8 students who might have other group. So that is just how it is possible, because they are sharing some common interest. So all the persons joining this informal group will be bound to observe the norms of the group. So they don't have any organizational rules and procedures that need to be followed. They have the group norms and group rules that they are following. Next is independent channels of communication. A person at the lowest rank can have direct contact with the person at the highest level. So there is no scalar chain that is followed, there is no formal flow of communication that is specified. Anyone can go and ask, or they can directly contact with the other person, right? So any lower rank person, if they have good relations with the highest level person, they can directly go and contact with that person. It is not deliberately created, as we have already discussed that it is a result of mutual relationships and taste. So that is why we cannot say that the informal relationship is deliberately created, right? So next is, it has no place on organization chart. Now what is an organization chart? It is a drawing which shows the relationship among the various posts established in the organization. So organization chart, it is just a drawing where all the relationships of the post, various posts, like we have the top level managers, we have the middle level managers, we have the lower level managers. So post of those managers is defined in that particular chart. But in case of informal organization, we don't have any organization chart, because any person at any level can contact to the person at any other level. Next is, no information about it even is given in the organization manual. Now what is organization manual? All the authorities and responsibilities of various posts are established, and all the rules and regulations, authorities and responsibilities are explained, and that is explained in the organizational manual. Next is, it is personal. Obviously it is a result of mutual relationships, and this comes when the feelings of individuals are kept in mind and nothing is imposed upon them. It lacks stability. It lacks stability. Why? Because an individual can be a member of more than one group at a time. So a lack of stability in the organization is there. An individual can mix up with one group at a time and the other group after some times. So an individual is not confined to a particular group, right? So that is why it lacks stability. Next is we have advantages of informal organization. First is faster speed. Now if the line of communication is not followed, that means if scalar chain is not followed, then informal organization leads to faster spread of information and quick feedback. Now if we are a group of 5 friends, right, and I have got some information from some other group, so that 4 friends and plus fifth me, I will be giving that information to all the 5 or the 4 members of my group, and automatically they might be at different levels of the organization. So faster spread of communication is possible. Next is fulfills organizational objectives. There is no pressure of formal organization. The subordinates put their ideas directly before the superiors without any fear. So superiors try to understand the difficulties and immediately they find out some solutions of the problem, right? So if the solution of the problem is sought out, then automatically the organizational objective is achieved. Next is we have the limitations of informal organization. First is it create rumors. Rumors means sometimes we talk carelessly and sometimes a wrong thing is conveyed to the other persons. So automatically the results can be negative or results can be horrible. Next is it resists change. So if there is a group of people and if for example if I say that okay, today I am going to start with this topic, but that group of 5 or 6 friends they say no ma'am, we are not going to study, so that is resistance, right? So they are opposing me. So same way is in the organization. When organization the different groups are made according to the taste or common interest, so they resist adopting to the new techniques, right? So they just want to adopt the old techniques in the organization. Next is pressure of group norms. Now as we have already studied that there is no written rules and procedures of the organization, all the rules and procedures are of the group, right? So group norms are followed in informal organization. That is why people are under pressure to observe group norms, right? And or if for example sometimes people assembled in informal group lose sight of their objective and they all decide to oppose their superiors. If they don't want to do any work, they just oppose that we are not going to do that work. So that is a pressure of group norms. A situation adversely affects the productivity, and simple example we can give is the factory. The people who are working in the factory, strikes are there. So why that strikes takes place? Due to the informal organization, or we can say due to the mutual relationships of that people, right? When they form up a group, automatically it results in chaos in the organization. So in short we can say informal relations among the employees are complementary to formal relationships. We know that informal organization or informal relations, they are a result of formal organization. Next is we have the difference between formal and informal organization. It is explained through a chart. So we know that at the top we have the general manager, and under the general manager we have 3 managers of different departments, that is the purchase manager, production manager, finance manager. And under the purchase manager we have the purchase superintendent. Under the production manager we have production superintendent, and same way under the finance manager we have the finance superintendent. So whenever the purchase superintendent he asks an inquiry or he follows the chain and he conveys the ideas to the purchase manager only, that time we call it as a formal organization. But if that purchase superintendent shares the ideas with production manager, then that is known as informal organization, right? Same way, if the finance superintendent, he has some idea, and instead of sharing that idea with finance manager, he shares that idea with directly with the general manager, then he is known to be in the informal organization. But if that idea by the finance superintendent is only and only to be shared with the finance manager, then it is a formal organization. So we have a difference between the formal organization and informal organization. Meaning, on the basis of meaning, formal organization is created by the management. So informal organization is created with the mutual understanding, or we can say mutual relationships. Origin, it is established because of the rules and policies of the organization, and informal organization is established because of social relationships. Authority is born out of the posts, so authority always flows from upwards to downwards. But in case of the informal organization, authority can move downwards, and it can be horizontal as well. Next is behavior. Behavior is predetermined. Everyone knows who will be doing what work, who will be reporting to whom, how the work will be done, who will be the boss, who will be the subordinate, etc. But in case of informal organization, individual attachment, which means it is not predetermined. We don't know that whether the lower level person can have direct contact with the top level manager. Next is flow of organization or communication. Now, scalar chain of authority is followed in formal organization, but communication in informal organization can move in any direction. Next is nature. Formal organization is more stable, and informal organization is temporary and less stable. As we know that forecasting is impossible. One person can be a part of the group one day, and the same person can be the part of the group the other day. Leadership. Now, when all the organization rules and policies are confined, in formal organization the managers are the leaders. So in case of informal organization, the leader is elected, a group leader is elected. So that is why leadership is in the hands of managers in formal organization, and leader is selected in informal organization. So this was all for today. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay indoors.